You were born in 1819 in Greenwich, Connecticut. Not the Connecticut of wealthy families and universities, the one where your father works the land and stays quiet. Quiet because there's not much to say. Everything is already understood. Poverty is silent like that. Your education, minimal. Your biography, rich in the sense of varied, in the sense that you never stayed anywhere for long. Store clerk, hotel worker, shop assistant. None of it took off. Then, the railroad? Conductor. Now that sounds like something. A uniform, a schedule, people traveling somewhere important. You check their tickets and think, where are they going? And more importantly, when do I get to go somewhere? 10 years on the rails. 10 years of, your ticket please. Then your health breaks down. The doctors say, nervous exhaustion. The company says, our condolences, and hands you a free railroad pass, a consolation prize for destroying your health on their trains. You're nearly 40, unemployed, unwell, without a profession, without savings, and with a free ticket that has nowhere to go. And then New Haven calls. A group of investors. Seneca Oil Company. Sounds respectable. In reality, a few gentlemen in nice suits who read a scientific report about oil and decided, money doesn't make itself, someone has to go. The report was written by a chemist named Benjamin Silliman. He took a bottle of oily liquid, the kind local Native Americans had been skimming off the surface of streams in Pennsylvania, and discovered, if you distill it, you get kerosene. A clean, bright, cheap fuel for lamps. What lights homes in the 1850s? Whale oil. Expensive, foul-smelling, and most importantly, the whales are running out. They are being slaughtered by the millions so that wealthy families can read books in the evening. That's not a metaphor. That is literally happening right now. Kerosene can replace all of it. The market, every home in America, every evening, every lamp. The investors understood this. They need someone to go to Pennsylvania and get the oil out. Why did they choose you? You'll laugh about this yourself later. Because you have a free railroad pass. Literally. They don't have to pay for your ticket. That was the entire casting call. That was the full candidate selection process. Salary, $1,000 a year. Good money. Whether it will be paid regularly, that's a different question. One that doesn't occur to you to ask just yet. One last thing. The investors say, you need authority. Titusville is a backwater, but people live there and they need to respect you. Take a title. You choose Colonel. No army, no battles, no military rank whatsoever. Just Colonel Edwin L. Drake. Has a ring to it, doesn't it? You board the train on your free pass with a borrowed title or the people's money and an idea that so far exists only on paper. Welcome to the oil business, Colonel. Pennsylvania, 1857. Titusville. 125 people, a sawmill, a church, and oil creek, which smells of petroleum. The locals have known that smell their whole lives. The Seneca people had been collecting the oily film off the water for hundreds of years, for medicine, for lubrication, for ritual. White settlers found a more commercial use for it, bottled it up and sold it as medicine. Seneca oil. Good for arthritis, rheumatism, deafness, baldness, and general dissatisfaction with life. Did it work? Well, if you feel terrible and you drink raw crude oil, you definitely stop thinking about your arthritis, because now you're thinking about other things. There's an effect, just not the intended one. It's sold beautifully. You arrive and take in the landscape. Forest, mud, a stream with a rainbow sheen, a few houses. People watch you with the curiosity of people who have nothing better to do. You say, I'm going to drill into the ground and bring up oil. Titusville laughs. Not unkindly, just sincerely. The way people laugh when someone says something very foolish in a very confident voice. You don't take offense. You go looking for a driller. Let's take stock of what you're bringing into history. No embellishment, The drilling rig, a wooden structure 40 feet tall. You build it with hired hands. It looks like a gallows for a giant. Local children come to stare. Local adults shake their heads. The driller, a man named Billy Smith, a blacksmith, good with iron, good at not asking too many questions. The ideal partner. The drilling method, and here is where it gets genuinely important. Every previous attempt to extract oil by drilling had failed for one reason. The walls of the well collapse. The earth is loose, water undermines it, and there goes your hole, turned into a pit, filling up with mud. You devise something brilliantly simple, an iron pipe. Driven into the ground first, it holds the walls. The drill bit works inside it. The well doesn't collapse. This is a revolution. Literally, a revolution in oil extraction. Every well drilled after this, thousands, then millions all around the world, will work on this principle. You don't patent it. Just don't patent it. Keep that in mind. We'll come back. The speed of cable tool drilling, roughly 1 foot per hour. Target depth, about 70 feet. That means weeks of pounding the earth with a heavy bit on a rope, raising it, dropping it, raising it again. It is more monotonous than it sounds, and it already sounds monotonous. The investor's money runs out fast, then runs out again. Then the investors send a letter. Shut it all down. Enough. It's not going to work. The letter goes by mail. Mail travels slowly. The letter arrives on August 28, 1859. The well strikes oil on August 27, 1859. One day decided everything. Billy Smith comes to the well in the morning, expecting nothing in particular, just checking. He looks down. Something black looks back up. The oil has risen on its own. Pressure from below pushed it to the surface. The well is full to the brim and still filling. Billy runs to get you. You come. You look. You're quiet for a long moment. What you say in that moment, no one will remember exactly later. Historians will argue about it, will invent fine words. In reality, you probably say something like, "Well, finally," and go to find some buckets. Because the oil is flowing and there are no buckets. This is the first logistical problem of the petroleum age. Well depth, 69 feet. First day's production, roughly 20 barrels. Price of oil, $20 per barrel. Total for the day, $400. A farmer's annual wage, $150 to $200. You have just earned 2.5 years' salary in a single day, standing in a puddle of foul-smelling muck. Welcome to the new world. The news spreads fast. Fast by 1859 standards, meaning roughly within a week. Within a week, people are heading to Titusville. Within a month, hundreds. Within a year, thousands. Each one with burning eyes, empty pockets, and iron certainty that this time they'll be the lucky one. This is called an oil rush. It works exactly like a gold rush, only dirtier and worse smelling. Land prices jump every day. A plot worth $200 is now $10,000. Then $50,000. Farmers who sold their fields 3 years ago for next to nothing sit at home staring at the ceiling. Titusville, 125 people a year ago, is now 10,000, and half of them arrived last month. Hotels overflow. People sleep in stables, under wagons, flat on the ground. On the main street, saloons, gambling dens, conmen, preachers trying to save the souls of conmen, and conmen robbing the preachers. Everyone is trading land, shares, rumors of new wells, rumors about rumors. One man sold hand-drawn oil deposit maps he'd sketched after 2 glasses of whiskey. He sold 40 of them, 1859, 1 well, 1860, 74 wells, 1861, thousands. Production up 100-fold. Oil prices over the same period fall from $20 to 10 cents a barrel. The market overheated, collapsed, and wiped out most of its participants. This is called the free market. It always works exactly this way. You watch this chaos and think, good thing I was first, bad thing I don't know what to do with that now. Finding oil and making money from oil are, it turns out, two very different skills. You have the first one, the second is more complicated. Storage. There are no purpose-built tanks. You use wooden barrels, the ones that held salted fish or pork. The oil smells better than whatever was in them before, marginally. The barrels leak, oil spills, and, this matters, oil burns. Extremely well. One stray lantern, one spark, and your capital is lighting up the countryside in spectacular fashion. In 1861, the first major fire breaks out at a well site. 19 dead. No fire safety regulations, no regulations at all. Everything is being invented right now, on the fly, sometimes at the cost of lives. Transport. The railroad is 50 miles away. Oil travels by wagon over dirt roads. When it rains, a swamp. When it's dry, dust and ruts. The horses strain. The teamsters charge outrageous rates because they have a monopoly and because they can. Cost to produce a barrel of oil, $1 to $2. Cost to haul it to a refinery, $3 to $4. Total, transportation costs more than the product itself. You spend more getting it there than making it. An economics of the absurd. Refining. Nobody buys crude oil. You need kerosene. Kerosene needs a refinery. You don't have a refinery. A refinery gets built by someone else who keeps the margin for himself. That someone is a young man in Cleveland right now. His name is John Davison Rockefeller. He is thinking a great deal. Quietly for the moment. Stop. Let's go back to the patent. You invented the casing pipe drilling method. It works. It is the only thing that works. Without your pipe, the well collapses and there is no oil. Everyone around you starts drilling, using your method. Nobody asks, nobody pays, because you didn't take out a patent. You could have done it. The patent office exists. The process is straightforward. It costs money and time, but after that, everyone who drills your way pays you a royalty. Every well. From the thousands drilled in Pennsylvania, from the tens of thousands drilled across America, from the millions drilled around the world over the next 150 years. You don't do it. Just don't do it. You didn't think of it. There was no lawyer nearby. You had other things on your mind. Pick any reason. The result is the same. Your method feeds the entire oil world for free, forever. Remember this moment. It matters for the ending. An engineer named Samuel Van Sickle does what everyone laughed at. Lays a cast iron pipe from the oil fields to the railroad. 5 miles. Oil flows on its own, under pressure. No wagons, no horses, no mud, no teamsters and their extortionate rates. The teamsters respond with subtlety and diplomacy. They show up at night with crowbars and smash the pipe to pieces. The pipe gets repaired. Guards get hired. Another pipe gets laid. The teamsters smash that one too. This goes on for several months until arithmetic finally settles the argument for everyone. Cost by wagon, $3 to $4 per barrel. By pipe, 25 cents. The profession of oil teamster vanishes within 2 years. 200 men lose their livelihoods. Oil gets cheaper for everyone else. Technological progress always looks the same. Very good for some, very bad for others, and nobody is asked. A company called Standard Oil appears. Owner, that same young man. Rockefeller, 30 years old. A gaunt face, no alcohol, no humor, no unnecessary words. He doesn't drill for oil. This is important to understand. Production doesn't interest him. What interests him is everything else. Refineries, railroads, pipelines, banks. He negotiates secret discounts with the railroads. Discounts unavailable to competitors and never will be. He buys up refineries. Those who won't sell, he doesn't touch. He simply operates at a loss until the competitor goes bankrupt. A month, 2 months, 6 months. Infinite patience. Then he buys the bankrupt at pennies on the dollar. Legally, entirely legally. The law doesn't prohibit this yet. Rockefeller moves faster than Congress can think, which, in fairness, is not difficult. Standard Oil's share of US oil refining, 1870, 4%, 1879, 90%, 9 years, legally, methodically. Without a single shot fired, a man in a nice suit comes to see you, polite, smiling, makes an offer to buy. The price is fair, perhaps even generous. He smiles with the calm of someone who already knows you'll say yes. Not because of threats, simply because of the math. You think for 3 days. Option 1, sell, take the money, leave, forget the smell of oil forever. Option 2, go to war with a man who has more money, more connections, more patience, and zero sentimentality. This is like playing chess with someone who has already bought the board, the pieces, and the judge. You sell, you take the money, you leave. You think, this is fine. You think, I made something of myself. You think, I was the first to find oil, I'm going to be all right. The money runs out faster than you expected. Investments don't pan out. Your health lets you down again. The years pass, and you sit and watch as the oil age, the one you opened, makes everyone around you rich. Rockefeller builds an empire. New men come to Pennsylvania and become millionaires on your wells. Your drilling method is used everywhere, in Texas, in Ohio, in Russia, soon on the Middle East. Everyone uses it. Nobody pays because you didn't take out a patent. Spindletop, Texas. A gusher blows 200 feet into the air. First day's production, 100,000 barrels. More than all of Pennsylvania in a month. The automobile arrives, the internal combustion engine, gasoline. Comes the blood of civilization, for lighting. 1900 for lubricating machines. 1910 for gasoline. The 1940s for military equipment. The 1970s for plastic that will decompose in the ocean over the next 500 years. Every 20 years, oil finds a new use and new billionaires. None of them. You don't know any of this. You died in 1880, in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, in a modest house, on a modest pension. The pension, $1,500 a year, was secured by the state of Pennsylvania. Decent people wrote a petition. It's embarrassing, really. This man opened the oil age and lives like a church mouse. Congress stirred itself and allocated the funds. Thank you, Congress. On the table, a kerosene lamp burns steady. Millions of lamps just like it burn across America right now. For this flame, you drilled the earth while everyone laughed. Rockefeller became the wealthiest man in the history of humanity. Literally, in all of history. He used your method, your wells, your oil. Not a cent to you. You opened the main door of the 20th century. Through it came wars, automobiles, airplanes, oil empires, and disasters you couldn't even dream of. You just forgot to put a meter on it. You are Colonel Edwin Drake, a fake colonel, a real pioneer. Found the oil, figured out how to extract it, gave it to the world for free, and died with a government pension and a lamp on the table. And that was your whole life.